All right, we are now live. Hope you're all doing well. Let's go and have a look, as it's been a couple of weeks since we've done a market commentary. We are super busy at the moment on the swing trading front. This is our current list of actual live trades. This is across 6 strategies. So not any of our trading room students will be in all of these because not everyone's trading all 6 strategies. But yeah, we're very busy at the moment. We've got lots of trades. We're going to look at a couple of scenarios, more not to show you the trades, but more to show you where that market is and where we think things could go and what our plan is. But let's go and look at the usual suspects first of all. So we'll start with the S&P. So start with the major US indices. So today it looks pretty green across the board. So a little bit of a rally, but nothing hugely strong. Let's go up to the higher time frames and start right out on the monthly chart because this is key. What we're currently seeing with May's candle. This could be the first candle close, depending on where we are by the end of the month. First candle close below the monthly 21. For me, if that happens and we take the low out, I would be looking at the monthly 50 that you can see here. So this is the monthly chart we're now looking on. So as you can see, downward month last month, put a bit of pressure on that monthly 21 and the same thing there. Now, interestingly, if we compare that directly to the Dow in a very similar position. Yes, there's been a bit of a push back since we've come off the lows of the month. You can see that there, and we'll go and look at it in a bit more detail in a second. But if you look at the NASDAQ, you can see this will be its second month. So the NASDAQ doing what it often does, and I've mentioned this before on market commentaries, on market reviews, it's leading the way here. You can see, look, retested the third monthly low there. You can see, well, we had the retest of the previous 2 in April, and then we've taken that low out. So again, looking at this, if you were looking at just the NASDAQ, you'd be saying, okay, if we take those lows out, it be it this month or going into next month, I'd be looking at this monthly 50. But again, we'll see what happens. There's still a good week to go. Let's go back up to the S&P and let's just go and have a look at the weekly chart you can see here. So I've got the monthly chart on another screen, but I'm just going to go to the weekly chart so you can see. Currently, it's only Monday, so we don't know, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 downward weeks in a row. We took the short-term area of support out. The Dow, very similar, you can see here. We have got a slight bit of resistance and support that little bit further down. And as you can see, what you've got is you've got this little correlation. You've got obviously the weekly 200, which is the moving average you can see here. And that lines up a little bit. If I just go on to the monthly on the other screen, you'll see my cursor come in here. Yeah, the monthly 50 just slightly below that. So this would be an area that I would look for a bounce if we did have more downside. Again, I don't know what's going to happen, but we can see, look, nice clear lower low. There's no reason to suggest any, technically any upside at this point. And if we take out the lows that we've achieved for this month, further downside to this level is what I'd be looking at. Trade-wise, a few of our guys, we have got possible shorts on both the Dow and the S&P. They are not there yet. If I go down to the daily chart, you can see here on the NASDAQ. So this is the NASDAQ. We have had a trade further back in the month, earlier on in the month. This has come down a bit sideways, hasn't quite reached target as yet. On this one, stops are at break even. But on the Dow and the S&P, if I just flick to those, we were looking at an opportunity around the 18th, didn't quite get what we needed, but we may, off the back of some further upside here, get further short trades in and around this area here. All right, without giving everything away exactly how we do it, we'd be looking in and around this area here, a combined set of criteria. So as far as I'm concerned, bearing in mind where the price is, even though we haven't had that monthly close yet, there is still clean air to the next set of support and resistance areas. So yes, that's the main indices at the moment. Possible shorts depending on what the price action's like over the next couple of days. We would need a little bit of a retracement for us to actually do that. But what I wanted to spend a little bit of time on today was euro, because I am live in euro at the moment. We've got multiple positions. We see we've come off this level. So if I just go down to the weekly chart now, I was chatting with a friend of mine. We were having a chat whether we thought there could be further downside on the euro. For me, when we came down into this level, I said, well, you know what it's like with levels. It'll respect it at some point. I'm not simply going to look for a bounce and trade long just off the level. However, we are down at the 2017 lows, and you can see we have had a little bit of a bounce here. What I did notice was there was no real divergence on that weekly chart. And if you look at the daily, okay, there was a little bit. So I said, look, I'll be expecting a short-term bounce of some description, even if it's just a move back towards where this trend line was. If we can consolidate around that area, which we did, then a break further up would be what I was looking for. So we've had that trend line, we had that consolidation trend line break. So short term, I'd be looking for a move up towards the daily 50. Now, if I just go down to the 4 hour, so you can see a little bit more, we've got multiple positions here. So for me, yes, that daily 50 might create a reaction. For me, I've got a trade where I'm looking for minimum of a 2-to-1, then I can adjust my stop. You'll actually notice we've got some other short-term 4-hour positions here and here. Again, these depend on how aggressive you are. So the concept we're looking at here is what's called building a position. So it wasn't simply a case of seeing the support and going, right, I'm going to go long off that support. That's highly aggressive. There are some traders that will do that, and they may edge their way into that position with an initial trade off the lows. But what I was looking for was further confirmation, which I got around this area here. Now I took a fair bit of heat. You can see I was down and then into profit just here. So at the moment, the trade is just nudging a 1-for-1. Now, 1-for-1, I don't do anything. So that trade at the moment, I'm just looking on my broker account now. Yeah, we're nudging a 1-for-1. For me, I don't do anything until we get up to the 2-to-1, where I may take partial profits. But what I will do absolutely is get my stop up to my entry. So nothing to do at the moment. So price had a bit of a rally today. The daily 50 is, and I'm just getting that on the screen, the daily 50 is in between my targets, so may get a little bit of a bounce just there, we'll see. But yeah, I'm in this trade, and if we get to 2-to-1, I'll be definitely moving my stop to break even. So I said super busy at the moment. I've got a short trade on US dollar CAD. Their markets are closed today, and I've got a couple of cross pairs that I'm running. But I just wanted to say, just show you what some of our traders are doing. It's not a case of just trading off support and guessing. It's waiting to see what price would do. Actually, at this level, I wasn't. If you were looking at it from a certainty point of view, and you can never be certain about a level, but if it was out of 10, if someone said to me, right, you've got to grade it out of 10, how likely do you think there'll be a bounce here? I wasn't hugely strong because I wasn't seeing any real divergence on this weekly chart. The only divergence I was seeing was on the daily, but that was enough for me to say I would grade it about a 7. And as you can see, we have had that move. You can see price and the MACD diverging slightly. So yeah, targets higher than where we currently are. And there's an example of how you can be looking at an overall move, waiting for a bounce, but there are multiple ways that you can get into that and run that trade and take profit at certain points. So you can either run a trade and move a stop to break even, and the great thing about that is once you're at break even, then it's a no-lose trade. The downside of that is if price comes back and stops you out at break even and then runs on, you miss out on a profitable trade. A lot of traders think being in a break-even trade means it's a good thing. It's short-term, it can be, and it relieves you of, it gives you that potential relief. But the challenge with a break-even trade is you could be moving your stop too tight or too close. So for me, there is a very tested and technical reason why my stop wouldn't get moved until we reach that level. The other option you've got is if you can build smaller positions in, then what you can do is financially build your trade to break even. So different concepts depending on what the trader's objectives are. So yeah, I'm looking and wanting more upside on euro. Do I think I will get it? Well, let's have a look at that daily chart. Today, it depends on where today's close is. We have just here taken out the last lower high in that downward move. So for me, I would be looking, especially if today's high gets broken tomorrow, I would be looking towards the the daily, as I've already said, daily 50, and then my target being that little bit higher when I can move my stop to break even. Will we get all the way into this zone here? We will see. But I've got a plan on the trade, so that is all good. So yeah, that was it. The only other thing I did want to look at was oil. So I just wanted to quickly go and have a little look at oil and just talk through where we are with that. It has been quite choppy. For me with oil, on this daily chart, you can see very sideways since the big move up and those highs that we got. We've come in. Now at the moment, price did get close to the March highs just here. For me at the moment, then in a very neutral zone. So people are asking me, well, what do you think is going to happen to oil? I don't really know. But for me, what I would want is price to be above these highs. We haven't got a long-term trend in here. There is a little bit of a trend line. If we could take the recent lows out, possibly some more downside, and then a retest there, but that doesn't give you as much scope that if we took these highs out, there's room up here. Again, a lot of macroeconomic factors that will impact that. But as you can see at the moment, oil's been a little bit sideways. Hasn't been as free flowing as it has before. But yeah, so for me, definitely the May highs and not the March highs, but the March resistance highs just there. The highs were obviously there, but they would be where I'd be looking. Get out of that way, and then I'd be looking for more clean air to the upside, possibly even a retest up here, which is not great for everyone, but if it is, that is what it is. Downside, a little bit of a trend line. I'm just going to draw that in here. So if I take that trend line in there, yeah, a bit of an aggregate. You've got multiple highs here. If we can take that low out, then possibly into these lows, slightly stronger down at this point here. So there's a little bit of clean air there. But really, if you said, right, Ali, pick your levels, where would you want to see for anything momentum based? It would be above these highs and below these lows for any clear momentum. So that's it for this week. I will aim to get back with you next Monday. We are extremely busy. We do have a free workshop on Wednesday this week. So I'm going to be doing some live coaching, some live trading, and helping any of you, regardless of your experience. So make sure you join up as a free member. Just head to tradersupportclub.com. If you're already a member, just log into your membership site. You'll receive a notification email. It is in our private members Facebook group, and I will get Sarah to post it up on the main page as well. So anyone can come along if you want to see a little bit more about what we do, our philosophy, our methodology, and get any of your trading questions answered, then come along. It's 7 p.m. on Wednesday night. So looking forward to seeing those of you that are heading to that. And as I said, we are extremely busy at the moment, but I will aim to get another market commentary up for you next Monday. Trade safe, and I'll catch up with you soon.